You're most welcome to my podcast, Bravo Podcast. I'd like to appreciate everyone that is always on our podcast. The best way you can support us is to share our content out there for anyone who would want to be part of this. Once again, my name is Bravo. Today, I have my guest, my very big guest, Aliyah, the 11-year-old assistant manager of Nare Motel. Today, we're going to hear her story and how she managed to become the assistant manager in whatever she does, how she does it at the age of 11. You're most welcome, Aliyah.
Thank you.
Aliyah, tell us your full names.
My name is Aliyah. I am in primary 5. I study from Fairfield School, Chiwanga Mukono. And I'm in boarding, but other times I come back home for weekends. At Naria Motel, I am the junior manager. My first name was the future manager, but once I had done a lot of work and a guest had noticed, she changed my name to the junior manager.
Wow.
So as I work, my name always changes by guests, not by my parents.
Yeah.
The guests change the name for me, not the parents.
Yes. Tell us the first guest. Could you mention us the first guest that gave you that name that deserved you?
She was called Miss Lillian.
Miss Lillian. Would like to appreciate Miss Lillian for the great encouragement to this young tack. Now, tell us, at what age did you start doing the kind of work you're doing, and what motivated you to start what you're doing at Naria Motel?
I was 5 years when I had started trying to cook, gardening, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my mom used to encourage me. I used to see her doing it and I would admire. So I always used to try doing it until I perfected it.
You perfected it.
Yes.
What's your best meal that you cook at Naria Motel?
My best meal to cook um, is boiled beef plus jacket matoke. That's my best.
What is jacket matoke?
It's matoke boiled without peeling.
Okay, it's called. It's my first time to know it in English. For those who speak Ruganda, it's I think in Pogora, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's jacket.
Matoke.
Jacket matoke is your best meal, but everybody can cook jacket matoke. You drop it in water and then boil. What's special about that?
Nothing much,
Yeah,
but it's also quite fun.
it's quite fun. It's wonderful. Could you take us about tell us through the process of making boiled meat? So if you choose to boil meat for that person that wants and loves boiled meat, what would be the simple process that you make sure that you want to produce that good boiled meat?
It's quite long but not hard.
Tell us. Take us through.
You first cut the meat into pieces,
Yeah,
put it in the saucepan, pour water,
yeah,
put it on fire to be boiling as you're cutting vegetables.
yeah,
Put the vegetables, cover for some 10 minutes,
yeah.
put the spices, let it boil for some more time,
Yeah.
and then reduce the fire so that it can simmer,
Okay.
and then after you serve.
Wow. You didn't tell us about putting salt. Did you
The
forget that
salt
process?
part is in between the spices.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
So the salt part is between the spices.
yes.
Okay. How do you measure the salt?
Um, Estimating.
Hmm.
You can either use your hand or a cover.
A cover. How sure are you that it's not enough? It's not little or it's not too much?
When you first put little at the beginning,
Hmm.
test if it is enough or not.
Uh-huh.
If it's enough, don't add. If it's not enough, add.
At some point, have you ever added more salt to the sauce and you realized it's actually too much and cannot be consumed by anyone? In that case, what do you do if it
I add
happens?
in water.
When you add in water, don't you make the sauce not good?
Sometimes, but I also add in other spices.
Oh, you top up the spices and also top up
The
more water.
water.
So tell me, Aria, in your school, what is your best subject?
My best subject is science,
Okay,
followed by SST,
okay,
math,
yeah,
Kiswahili,
yeah.
Chinese,
Mm-hmm.
then English.
Oh,
I'm not a good fan of it, but I speak it.
Chinese or Swahili?
I like both, but I don't like English so much.
You don't like English?
Yes.
Which language do you prefer?
I use English, but I don't like it as a subject.
You don't like it as a subject.
Yes.
In Swahili, tell us, what do you know in Swahili?
I know how to introduce myself by name,
Yeah,
class, school.
okay.
Wait, what name, class, school? Yeah, that's all I remember.
Do it in Swahili because we need to prove that.
I'm starting with my name.
Uh-huh,
Jina lako ni Aliyah,
uh-huh,
nina miaka 11,
uh-huh,
ninasomea Fairfield,
uh-huh.
darasa la 5.
Darasa la tano. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm very inspired by you being linguistic and knowing Swahili, especially when you see East Africa is taking up Swahili. Not so.
Yes.
Let's go to French. Give us this French part of what you know.
We don't learn French, but we learn Chinese.
Okay, Chinese. Let's go to Chinese.
Chinese, I can tell you the greeting.
Okay.
And wait, I can tell you the greeting plus the reply.
Go ahead.
When you're greeting an adult, you have to use some respect.
Uh-huh.
So in Chinese, you say nin hao.
Uh-huh.
And then when you're replying, you also say nin hao.
Nin hao. That's amazing. And you know that Chinese is one of the most spoken languages as well, among the top spoken language in the world.
Yes.
Wonderful. So why don't you like English? Because you're an English speaking school as a subject. It bores you?
It bores me, and also I hate the stuff of full sentences.
Mm-hmm. Which sentence?
Like this part when they give you stories,
Uh-huh.
dialogues,
Uh-huh.
stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
I like reading them, but I don't like answering their questions. And it is also quite confusing
Mm-hmm.
because they tell you to revise English, and English is not revisable.
So they tell you to revise English, but English is not revisable. But the teacher tells you to do revision of English. So how do you find it difficult?
Like English is for understanding.
Uh-huh.
It's not for revising.
It's not for revising.
Because you can revise this story and they give you another one.
Uh-huh.
And what would the revision be for?
Guys, very interesting. If you're watching out there, I'm sure you're learning one or two things from Aria. And Aria says, English is not for revising. And if you revise one story and they give you another story to revise, so what is it for? Okay, how did you come up with that, Aria, in your own terms? How did you come up with that?
I've ever done it before.
Yeah.
The teacher told us to revise, and I revised like quarter of my book, and it was full of stories.
Yeah.
I revised all those stories, and it came to waste because they gave us different stories in the paper.
Are you bored by stories or by the English?
I'm not bored by stories, but I don't like English.
You don't like English. If you were given an option to do all with English, what language would you take up?
I would speak English, but not writing it, because writing is a nightmare.
Writing English is a nightmare. We hope now you master the Chinese, probably, or Swahili.
Yeah, those ones are mastering.
They are mastering. So you can master the Swahili and also the Chinese.
Yes.
Tell us about in your school. What would you speak of your school where you go to?
I would say it's nice.
Okay.
like when you have a problem,
Yeah.
they don't leave you to sort it alone.
Yeah.
They help you sort it and then you can settle at once.
Mhm.
Other than leaving you to settle it once alone, and then it even brings more trouble.
Okay.
And some schools have teachers who like overbeat, that you just by mistake you're like just walking in class, just like looking for your book, like your book has got misplaced, they beat you.
Mhm.
So for us, they don't do that. They just leave you to look for your book. But if you're pretending and your book is in the bag with incomplete work, they can beat you.
So you have to be careful.
Yes.
Aliyah, if you became the head teacher of your school, what would you change in your school?
What I would change: number one, morning preps.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the teaching rates.
Yes.
Number three, lunch meals.
Uh-huh.
Number four, dormitory setups.
Yeah.
And number five, the field.
The field. Now let's go back from number one. What would you put in place better?
According
Morning preps.
the morning preps,
Yeah.
at school we wake up at 4 sharp,
Mhm.
and then we bathe for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
At 5 we are in class.
Yeah.
6 we are in class. 7 we go for morning tea.
Yeah.
So what I don't like is that sometimes I wake up with a terrible headache, but I still have to go to class.
Mm-hmm.
And also it is so tiring waking up at that time weekly,
Mm-hmm.
because even on Saturdays we learn half day. Sundays we wake up so early for prayers. That one I can agree.
Mm-hmm.
But Saturday lessons aren't fun,
They aren't fun.
because every Saturday we are learning the same subject. I don't hate it, but it's not fun.
It's not fun.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Second point. What would you change on the second point?
On the second point, that was lunch meals.
Yes.
So lunch meals, I would change this thing of having portion 5 times a week and rice once a week. I would change some parts of, like, some portion days to matoke, something like that, some rice, other than having it once a week and then portion 5 times a week.
Yeah.
So that's what I would change.
The third one.
Teaching rates.
Uh-huh.
These rates of teaching, like a teacher comes in for 2 hours, 15 pages are full of work, and you find your hands swollen. And they usually like dictating. And it's not so fun, mostly in SST, because the teacher dictates so fast and it becomes so tiring. Yeah.
Wow. Number 4.
Dormitory arrangements. That dorm is like, for example, I'll change it like by adding floors on top, because dormitory is small and like bathing with all the people in one bathroom feels weird.
So you should.
So I would change it for separate classes, that I would divide the bathrooms, that every class will have its own bathroom. And once it uses a bathroom for another class, they clean it. That's all.
Wow. If you became the Minister of Education, here you've been talking about being a head teacher, not so?
Yes.
Let's talk about if you became the Minister of Education in this country and you're a decision maker in the country, what are the 3 top things that you would want to change in our education system?
The education system, I would add in other languages other than learning English, like as if you were born with English.
What other languages would you add in?
I would add in French, Chinese, Spanish, Kiswahili, for it's there. I would add in Jewish, stuff like that.
Wonderful. Second point, as a minister.
In our education, sometimes, like on specific days, I would advise learning with laptops other than learning with writing, that like as if your hands will never have time for resting. So I would like bring in laptops for some days, and then other days you'll be writing. You'll be mixing both writing, laptops. That's what I would add in.
Okay, the third one.
The third one, let me see. The third one, I would also somehow advise beating in some schools, because some schools don't beat and then their children come out totally spoiled. That even some schools cheat for children in examinations. And I know one school that my cousin was studying from, but he changed, and it was a high school. They used to cheat for them in exams, and they would keep on passing like they are using their brains, yet they are cheating for them. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing, guys. We have a lot to learn from the youth from this age. You know, she has the brain and she feels that there's so many things that she can change if she became the president or she became the minister of education. And I believe that if we could use the brains, if we could use this kind of age, at her age 11 years, and she's able to be put in a place where she can expound her potential, by the age of 2025, we would have great leaders and would have great, people out there. Yeah. Aria, tell us at your age, working with the Nadia Motel, what inspires you as a young girl of 11? What inspires you?
Um, it sounds fun to work at Nalia Motel. Um, Mostly the part of cooking and formulating oils, the gardening,
Yeah.
all that work is fun.
Okay.
To me, I enjoy it a lot, as sometimes I do cooking as a relaxing activity,
Yeah.
as some people take it as a punishment.
Yeah.
But me, I like it so much because also I love eating.
How many times do you eat in a day?
Proper meals I eat 3 times.
Okay.
That is breakfast, lunch, and supper.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then the others?
The others are stuff like snacks, fruits,
Uh-huh.
all that.
Amazing. So, Aria, at your age, how would you look into the camera and advise the young girl that is watching you right now?
And I advise a young person like me
Yeah.
to be hardworking, not to think that housework is a punishment, as some people think,
Okay.
and also to start when they are still young.
Okay.
Starting when you're old is quite hard to master, so it's better to start when you're young and when your age is not so high,
Okay.
so that you learn very well and you remember very easily.
Now, Aria, tell us, as you advise the young one, what advice do you have for the parents as well? Because the parents need to know, need to hear from you. The parents out there with a girl child.
The parents, I also advise them to teach their children housework and also how to do other work other than doing stuff like mopping, sweeping. They should also try the work of making money, not just this simple work of mopping, sweeping, and then they end there.
Okay.
And also, they should not treat their children like they are so babyish that they can't do anything at all. You find someone at 15 is just learning how to mop.
Yeah. At what age did you learn mopping?
Mopping, I learned at something like 8, 9 years there.
Okay. Uh-huh. So are you good at mopping?
Yes.
Can you mop the whole of Nadia Motel by yourself?
Yes, I can.
Wow, that's amazing. As parents, what should we learn from this? Bringing her here is to show you at the age of 11, she's been doing this kind of work. And if you want to prove this, you should show up at Nadia Motel, see for yourself, meet her, or say, my meals are going to be prepared by Aliyah. Or you could say that I would want to meet this girl. If you're out there and also you'd want to bring your daughters to this place to learn from her, she has a lot that she has in herself and should be able to also mentor your own girl or your own boy at the end of the day who is at the same age and who is willing to learn. So thank you so much, guys. It's a pleasure hosting Aliyah. We just needed to change today to bring you her amazing story and would be showing you, as you've been seeing, some of her work she does. She does it and it's practical. What I pick from her is that do not let your child sit. Do not let your children think they are young at the age of 15 or whatsoever. They should start doing something, and not only for doing, but only something that can bring in income. In few words, what are your last words that you would give us?
The last words are that even though you are a girl or you are a boy, you can do work, you can mop, you can sweep, you can do gardening, you can do anything. There is no work that is registered for girls, then this one is registered for boys. You can do any work. And don't just be there because like this new generations where they brought stuff like communication stuff other than the post office. You're there on the phone, you're there on the tab, you're there on the laptop, you're there on TV.
Yeah.
They leave you housework, the parent comes back, you've not yet even started, you're just on TV.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to first get off TV because TV is not good for your brain and for your health.
Okay.
Yeah, and also I also advise you who cook to stop eating too much junk food.
Yeah.
Or if you see people who are eating like local food, stuff like that, you think that they don't know how to cook junk food.
Yeah.
Junk food is not healthy.
Yeah.
So it's better to stay healthy and fit
Mhm.
so that you can be nice and happy.
And nice and happy. So thank you so much, guys. It's a pleasure. She's very amazing, very interesting, and I'm sure you learn one or two things. You may not learn everything, but I believe that you can pick up one that will change your life. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Bravo, and please share our content for other people also to be able to learn from her. Thank you.